Picture this: July 16th, 1969. Three humans sit atop 3,000 tons of explosive fuel, about to ride a controlled explosion to another world. NASA burned through 5% of America's entire federal budget to keep those three souls alive for 8 days. The computer guiding them had less power than the chip in your car key. Now imagine today. A private company just caught a 23-story rocket with mechanical arms, like threading a needle while the needle falls from space at supersonic speed. That same company plans to land 100 humans on the moon in a single ship, for less than Hollywood spent on Avatar. How did we transform from barely surviving 21 hours on the lunar surface to designing permanent moon bases? The answer reveals something profound about how humanity tackles the impossible. Apollo erupted from humiliation. While American rockets exploded on launch pads, Yuri Gagarin orbited Earth on April 12, 1961. 6 weeks later, Kennedy weaponized American pride with an impossible deadline: the moon, before decade's end. What followed defied comprehension. NASA's budget exploded to 4.5% of federal spending, $280 billion in today's dollars. 400,000 Americans, 1 in every 250 workers, built Apollo hardware. The vehicle assembly building rose so tall that rain clouds form inside it. The Saturn V stood 363 feet tall, longer than a football field. Its first stage generated 7.6 million pounds of thrust through 5 F1 engines, each bell wide enough to park a pickup truck inside. Those engines consumed 15 tons of propellant per second, draining a swimming pool every heartbeat. But here's the insanity. This $185 million mechanical masterpiece was designed to destroy itself. After 168 seconds, the first stage, containing engines generating more power than 85 Hoover dams, plummeted into the Atlantic. The second stage burned 6 minutes before joining the cosmic graveyard. Even the heat shield, engineered to survive 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit re-entry, was tossed after one use. The mathematics were ruthless. Landing 100,000 pounds on the moon required 6.2 million pounds at liftoff. Every pound Armstrong bounced with needed 220 pounds of hardware, and we threw away 219 of them. Yet between 1969 and 1972, this beautiful madness worked 12 times. 12 humans left bootprints in dust undisturbed for 4 billion years. They brought back 842 pounds of moon rocks that rewrote planetary science. Mission accomplished. Then we walked away. December 21st, 2015, Cape Canaveral. A Falcon 9 deploys satellites, then performs the impossible. The first stage, 15 stories tall, traveling at 4,000 miles per hour, flips, reignites, and lands vertically on a concrete X. The revolution hides in accounting. Space shuttle launches cost $65,000 per kilogram, a luxury car to send a watermelon to space. Today's reusable Falcon 9, $2,720 per kilogram, a 96% collapse. Booster B-1051 has flown and landed 19 times. What NASA considered impossible, SpaceX made boring. They've landed boosters simultaneously while Bowie played, creating moments so cinematic viewers thought it was CGI. But Falcon 9 is the opening act. Starship rises 394 feet, taller than Saturn V, a stainless steel monument to audacity. Where Apollo threw everything away, Starship throws nothing away. Both stages return intact. The economics break brains. SpaceX targets $10 to $100 per kilogram. At those prices, space costs less than first class to Tokyo. The moon becomes a long weekend. NASA watched and decided, stop building rockets, become a customer. The Commercial Lunar Payload Services program lets NASA order moon missions like pizza. 14 companies compete, from Boeing to garage startups. February 2024. Intuitive Machines Odysseus touched down near Malapert, a crater. Built for $118 million, what Apollo spent every 15 hours, it became the first American hardware on the moon since 1972. A company that didn't exist during Apollo broke a 52-year drought for less than Barbie's budget. Apollo was a sprint. Artemis is urban planning. Gateway space station orbiting the moon. Multiple commercial landers for redundancy. A permanent base at the lunar South Pole where the sun never sets, and water hides in eternal shadows. October 2009. NASA's L-Cross slammed into Cabeus crater at 5,600 miles per hour. Scientists expected trace moisture. They found billions of tons of ice in cold traps reaching negative 410 degrees Fahrenheit, colder than Pluto. Water means survival. More importantly, water means rocket fuel. Split H2O through electrolysis, get hydrogen and oxygen. The moon transforms from destination to gas station. Mars suddenly feels accessible. 39 nations signed Artemis Accords. Europe builds Orion service module. Japan develops a pressurized rover. A lunar RV, where astronauts cook dinner while driving. Canada contributes Canadarm3. SpaceX's human landing system sounds like optimistic science fiction. Multiple tankers launch. Rendezvous at 17,500 miles per hour. Transfer propellant at negative 340 degrees Fahrenheit. After 8 refueling flights, Lunar Starship departs with 1,200 tons of fuel. This Starship doesn't just deliver astronauts, it delivers infrastructure. Its cargo bay, basketball court-sized, transports excavators, 3D printers using lunar soil, nuclear reactors powering through 14-day lunar nights. NASA isn't planning camping trips. It's planning subdivisions. Blue Origin provides backup with Blue Moon using liquid hydrogen, manufactured from lunar ice. When establishing civilization, you need options. Apollo's 12 moonwalkers. White American test pilots with crew cuts. Artemis shatters that mold. The first woman and person of color will leave boot prints beside Armstrong's. Christina Koch. Victor Glover. Diversity reaching beyond Earth. China landed Chang'e 4 on the far side in 2019, what NASA never attempted. Their rover explores for 5 years from where Earth never rises. India's Chandrayaan-3 touched down for $75 million, less than Interstellar's budget. They reached the moon for less than Hollywood spent pretending to reach another galaxy. The commercial roster reads like Silicon Valley met Star Trek. Intuitive Machines, Astrobotic, iSpace, companies building actual landers in actual warehouses. Firefly Aerospace, risen from bankruptcy, will deliver payloads to the far side. Modern payloads include art projects, cryptocurrency experiments, human remains, $12,500 to scatter ashes on the moon, universities, small nations, wealthy individuals, all going. Looking forward, Helium-3 could fuel fusion reactors, one cargo powering America for a year. Low-gravity manufacturing could produce impossible materials. The far side could host telescopes seeing the universe's first light. Goldman Sachs projects $1 trillion space economy by 2040. The moon as Grand Central Station. Zoom out and the story clarifies. Apollo was humanity's proof of concept, demonstrating we could escape Earth when motivated by rivalry. Magnificent but terminal. Once we beat the Soviets, we lost our reason. Artemis represents what evolution prepared us for. Expansion. Not racing anyone, but spreading, because that's what life does. The impossible challenge consuming 5% of America's wealth became a business case debated over lunch. Where Apollo required history's richest nation, today's missions launch from garage startups. Where 12 government employees walked, tomorrow's residents might include poets, artists, honeymooners watching Earth rise. We've evolved from tourists to settlers. The moon transformed from destination to infrastructure. species insurance against extinction, a laboratory for impossible science, a gas station for unimaginable journeys. Armstrong's bootprint, sharp in airless silence, waits for company. We're not just going back to visit. We're building a city around it. This time, we're taking everyone, every nation, every dream, every wild ambition that ever looked up and wondered. What would you build in 1/6 gravity? A telescope detecting distant life. A Mars launch pad. The solar system's first low-gravity pizzeria where cheese strings stretch for meters. Which Apollo moment gives you goosebumps? Which Artemis technology makes you believe your children will vacation on the moon? This isn't science fiction anymore. This is humanity's next chapter. Written one launch at a time. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe for more stories where history, technology, and human ambition collide. Thanks for watching.